So a buddy of mine found this, and rather than throw it out, he threw it my way. And what it is, and you can see, I started to take the sticker off, and I said, well, I'm going to make a video about it, so I stopped. But basically, it's just a travel router. It's basically a WRT54G, but it's a WTR54G. It's just a compact travel size version of the WRT. It doesn't have a 4-port switch. It only has a 1-port switch on the back. And the idea behind this was you could take it to a hotel that didn't have Wi-Fi, but it did have, wired internet through Cat5. And you plug it in, plug this into the wall, plug the Cat5 into there, and you can either plug your laptop or whatever into here, game console, whatever it may be, and it's behind a firewall. That way you're not open to the rest of the hotel. Also, it has wireless built in, so it's a nice little, or a cool little idea. The only problem is, well, besides the fact of it being old and it's only 54 meg on a good day, is when you go to plug it in, it just blinks. Now, I've tried the 3030 reset, where that's essentially where you hold the reset button in for 30 seconds, plug it in for 30 seconds, or something like that, I forget. You have it plugged in, you push the button, you unplug it while you're still holding the reset button, wait another 30 seconds, then plug it in, holding and waiting another 30 seconds, and it's supposed to completely clear everything out. I've done that. I've tried a million things. It's not powering up at all. It's not even showing a link when you plug it into a computer. Now, the one thing is, and I don't know if you can see this, probably can't on camera. Let's turn this down some. There is a bit of an orange. The power light is kind of coming on, but I can't tell if that's because it's just a reflection of these lights. But in messing with it, I was able to get the power light to flicker, and it would flicker really quick on, and it almost looks like it's in a boot loop. Now, if that's the case, and it is a firmware problem, I'm not going to put too much time into it, I don't think. But I have a feeling that it's actually in the power supply. It looks like it's actually not getting clean DC voltage, and it's just resetting over and over again, or it can't even post because it's not getting enough juice. So let's take it apart. I have these El Cheapo screwdrivers here. So we'll just take this label off because I really don't need it. There we go. And there is the screw hole. And let's see. Does it just come apart? Does it snap apart? There's that screw hole. I don't see any others, so I'm going to assume we're just going to pry. And I don't really care what this looks like, so I'm not going to worry about using a plastic spudger or anything like that. Alright, I got it apart, but totally just destroyed the plastic case in the process. This is weird. Alright, so you got one screw. Where is it at? Right there. But then you got all these posts that go here, but there's no screw. So I guess this board's supposed to come out with it, so maybe I pried at the wrong area. Maybe this part here is supposed to come off? I don't know. Let's see. Does this come out? Okay, well, I'll know for next time. If there is a next time. That's how it comes out. Gotcha. And then this, you would take these screws out to get rid of those posts. All right, let me do that now just to, or do I want to even do that? Ooh, just bent the crap out of the little antenna in there. I'm going to leave them in because that's actually what's holding this board to the frame at the moment. So I'll leave that alone. I may take this off if I can get this working, but for right now, we're just going to leave it alone. All right, so first thing first, let's plug it in and see what kind of juice we get out of it. Because I have a feeling it's this power supply, but I could be completely wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. Alright, so power supply is off. I'm sorry, power strip, whatever. Same as before. Let's check the voltage coming out of the power supply. It's dancing all over the place. Okay, I've seen enough. According to this, there's a little on this power supply. It's supposed to be outputting 3.3 volts at 1.5 amp. Okay, so it wants 3.3 volts. Let's give it 3.3. I have the power supply set for 3.3, but I have it just under an amp, about 700 milliamps. And the reason I'm doing that is because if there is something bad on this board, there could be a reason that power supply is shutting off. Now, it's not going to tell me anything if I fire up this power supply without a load on it. Although I could do that with a resistor, you know, set it up without a load, it might work just fine. So it's not going to tell me anything. Like I said, I could put a load on it and we'll see. But since I have a power supply here, first let's do this. Throw this. There's 4 wires here. We're just going to assume that both positive and both ground are connected together. We're just going to see what happens. Like I said, I have the current turned way down. It may not fire up right away. May have to adjust that, but I just want to keep the current down just in case there is something wrong with this board. We might still be able to salvage it. So here we go. Yep, there it goes. It's going through its diagnostic and its post. I don't know what that means. I'd have to hook a computer to it, but we're getting somewhere that we're not getting with this power supply. So we're going to pretend, or we're going to just assume that this works. Let's find out what's wrong with this guy over here. And of course they couldn't make it easy for us and just give us a plug. But that's okay. So one of the big problems we're going to have is all this epoxy that they put on everything. But I can tell you right now from looking at it, this capacitor is swollen. Let me zoom in a little bit. Please focus. Please. Yeah, this one here is swollen. Let's chip some of this epoxy off of it. Or at least it looked like it while the epoxy was on. Let's take the rest of this off and see what we got. Oh yeah, it is. So we'll replace that. That's not a problem. That's easy. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, and I'm just butchering this here. I gotta be careful. This one is broken and open. And whether that was done by me pulling this epoxy off or not, I'm gonna guess it was like that before that, but either's possible. And this is where a desoldering iron would actually come in handy. Don't have one. I'm just gonna put a lot of solder on there, heat it up, and see if I can push it through. And then we got these two. Where are you at? And there they are. Let me back this up a little bit. I know it keeps falling out of focus. Alright, right, so this is a 200, the small one's a 220 microfarad. And this one is a... Okay, so this one's a 220 microfarad, and this is a 1000 microfarad, both of which are at 10 volts. And the reason these blew, it probably gets very hot in here. There's really no ventilation. And I'm going to guess that it just sat there and cooked. I'm going to try to get some of this off of here, too. Okay, so I found a couple caps. I got 1000 microfarad at 10 volts, just like the other. And this one is 220 at 10 volts. So the only problem is the leads that are on these aren't long enough. And these are not brand new. These are off of other boards. And I keep a bunch of just junk boards around just to pull the components off of. Because this is more for hobby. This isn't really for, you know, I'm not fixing this for somebody. If I'm fixing it for somebody, and I need to know that it's going to work 100% and last another 10 years, then yeah, I'll put new parts in it. But this is just for me, so it doesn't matter. And we're just going to make it work. So I'm going to put that through. We're going to solder that in place. Wherever I put the solder at, there it is. And then I'm going to cut it right there. Let's put this one through and do the same thing. So now all I have to do is trim that back and solder these caps to those posts, which is not going to be easy, but it is what it is. So let's do the small one first. So I'm going to start off by just tinning the legs of the cap just a little bit. And you'll notice on the board here, there are these lines, and that indicates which one is the negative side. Or should indicate. I'm sure we'll find out if it's wrong, because it'll explode as soon as we turn it on. Let's just tin these a little bit. Let it cool down. Okay, and then we just go in. Alright, so that one's done. It's not the cleanest job in the world, but it works. Alright, same thing with this side. Alright, the nice thing about this is I have it cut almost perfectly, so all I have to do is push these down just a little bit. Alright, cool. So let's tin these to make our life a little bit easier. Very quickly so they don't melt the solder on the other side. And you might ask, why didn't I put these posts on the cap first and then put it through? Yeah, you could do that. I've just had better luck doing it this way, because really you're soldering something that's only a few millimeters away from something else that you're soldering. And you really, this is janky. I admit it, but it is what it is. Get over it. So the power strip is turned off. It's plugged in. Let's turn the lights down. Power strip on. There we go. And it's working. That's the wireless light flickering, so it booted. We're in good shape. Let's just test the voltage on that just to see what it looks like. Just under 3 volts, or 3.3. So that's perfectly fine. And it seems to be working just fine. Now, I haven't plugged it into a computer, I haven't set anything up or anything, but obviously now it's booting where before it wasn't. It was just going through like a loop, or, you know, just turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. I destroyed it. Who cares? Who cares? There we go. She's working. So I'm not going to plug it into a computer, at least not in this video. I still have to install DDWRT or OpenWRT or something, depending on what's ever supported by this firmware. Or I'm sorry, whatever firmware is supported by this model. But more of this, less, which is just something I had to do anyway and figured I'd record it. If you have any questions, leave them down below as usual. Probably do more videos on this, maybe installing firmware, doing an SD update, SD card mod. If there's enough GPIOs, I think there is, because you have this plus... Yeah, I think we'll be okay. If not, we'll figure something out, and we'll turn it into a little mobile something. Maybe I'll throw some LiPos in it and put a charging circuit or whatever, and I don't know. We'll figure something out. So, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.